Hey, my name is Steve Bell. I'm with Employers Health and Safety LLC out of Joplin, Missouri. We got to meet some new potential vendors, so to speak, and we ran into this guy by the name of Shane Peters. And I want you to really see this documentary. I want you to check it out. This goes back to surrounding yourself with good people, and you find people that do what they say what they do, and prove it by documentation. Shane, this one goes out to you, and also Ken. Enjoy it.
Okay. Hey, this guy right here was one of the superintendents on it.
Yeah, he was. Sure was.
You recognize? You're supposed to go, Shane.
Well, see, he doesn't have high vis and PPE on, so I didn't recognize it.
That's awesome, man.
And I just gotta say, that was amazing to experience that.
That was.
It's kind of like in the face of social media in today's world, seeing a connection that was very cool.
That was so cool. So here's what we're doing today. We're at Crystal Bridges in Bentonville, Arkansas. We're with GP Safety Solutions and EHS. We got Francis, Doug, Shane, we got Steve Bell. We got workers at Crystal Bridges here. Now, they have not signed any agreements to be on film, but we just had the most amazing situation. So how long ago were you here?
Well, I started out here in 2008, but I mean, the last time we would have seen each other would have been August or July 2011.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Wow.
How's your brother? Pat's on time.
He's doing good. Is he? He's doing our museum across town.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had fun. That was so cool. That was, I mean, really, that was
amazing.
That was amazing, man. Seriously, that doesn't happen like every day. That is not an everyday happen thing.
You know, it does when you have a mindset and you expect good things to happen. You know, but the reunion, that's the type of reunion that we should start getting out.
Hey, wait, who? Shane? Yeah. What? Crystal Bridges, Bentonville, Arkansas, hanging out. We're going to take a tour. Tell us our little agenda today. Just take a tour. We're going to take a tour since you helped build this place.
Let's take a walk.
Let's take a walk.
Yeah.
Hello.
So
Wow.
looking down right here, this is the museum store.
Okay.
And then that's what we used to call that building right there, A2, and then A3. A4 is kind of behind it. That's A5 bridge, and A6 on the other side right there. A1 bridge is over on this other side here. We're just gonna take a nice little tour around with guided tour with Ken Robinson. He was my project manager while I was the superintendent on this project while we were building it. And yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been here in, it's going on a little over 8 years actually. So.
And we just rode the bus, and you just met someone that recognized you 8
cool.
years ago, and you had a reunion, and that was pretty awesome, wasn't it, Francis?
Awesome. Yes, it was. Yep. My buddy Ray, he was one of our superintendents also. He and a crew of guys went through and they patched all those little holes right there. So something
Really?
when something like that existed right there, back when we first had it, they'd come through and patch it, and at the end it would look like that right there.
Right.
And so look at the difference between that right there, this little spot right here,
Yep.
versus
I can tell.
that right there.
I can tell.
So
That's a lot of manpower,
Oh, it's a ton.
because that's just like
I was,
going in and filling in your.
Company that went in and put the cedar boards in here was, did you get it? Okay, good.
Good.
The company that put the cedar boards in here was Mahan Construction, and I actually was a superintendent for them. Like 2 years later, I built the Bass Pro Shop in Little Rock
Nice.
with them, and then I did at the Harding University. I built the women's dormitories, like 5 or 6 women's dormitories. That's true.
Pilot?
Ready? Pilot? No, we didn't do pilot.
How about pilots?
It's amazing, man. The architecture in here is just
Yeah, Moshe Softy was the
Amazing.
architect.
So Shane, your title on this project was what? Project Superintendent.
And safety manager, project safety manager too.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a monster on safety. Good gracious, it was a monster on safety.
Had to
Look
be.
at all these hikes from freaking.
That's what I was saying. It's the
Kid, y'all. I was a
That's
freaking
right.
Kid, man.
That's where you learn, though. That's where you learn. Woo. Oh, this is amazing.
Waiting on the cable system right there.
Mm-hmm. This,
Cable, the big giant cable coming off the wall.
I see it. Yeah.
That's what supports the roof.
Oh!
How you doing, man? Does it look the same?
It's great. Actually, there's rustification on the
Copper? Well, it oxidized just.
That was his first sketch.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to a while ago when he said, let me just show you where I've got my head. He whipped that out in no time and said, this is what I'm seeing. And she thought it was up on J Street. She saw the water. He goes, no, it's got to be down here. It has to be down here. And that's how Crystal Bridges was named, was the Crystal Pond over here that had been here since the first settlers hit this area and kept the refrigerated worries underneath the rock ledge because the cold spring kept it cold.
Right.
And so it's still there. The rock ledge is still there. The Crystal Pond's still there. The overpool's still there. But that's how Crystal Bridges came to be known.
Oh.
That is amazing.
And so this is the place. This is the next set. This is kind of like the demographics of Bentonville in the United States. Student interaction. Over the Western Red Cedar Banyan, it's on the outside of the building. We have almost 5 miles of it. There's only 2 places in the world to get it.
Yeah.
We chose a big forest in Canada, so you can get heartwood. Western Red Cedar number 2, clear heartwood, no knots, no inclusions, no 2-color. How do you find cedar like that?
That's tough.
Only 2 places in the world have it. Wow. Allison, the owner of the lumber forestry up in Canada, she said, give him a call. So I did. So here's my little favorite thing. This is heat to concrete. This is what came gets involved. And so this kind of gives you a timeline of back in '05 decision to build, site planning, groundbreaking, foundation, admin, concrete forms, beams are being installed, landscaping and stuff, you know, all the way to where we were just back in the Diamond Bridge. Just a lot of different shots. That's a construction shot at night when the ponds are
That's
still
pretty
being
at night.
worked on. And so they said, put a blurb in there too, so there's my blurb. We moved a concrete plant on property. We didn't have concrete trucked in. We built our own concrete on the plant here. And that way we control the temperature, slumps, delivery times, mix, spec, everything. So we built a concrete batch plant on property and built all the concrete here. We made our own form shop here.
Yeah, there's a giant
Form shop sitting right here on the hillside. That same form shop is up top right now. I use it as my maintenance building. I moved it.
Nice.
Wow.
5 days.
Yeah.
5 giant days.
Yeah. That's where we were. And so we thought that was too good to not get rid of, so we moved it up to there for maintenance facility for trails and grounds and the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concrete work just looks, it's just amazing.
Well, there's amazing story on the concrete. Father Ray, that worked for Lindbergh, was a concrete guru, especially on finish. But even with the phenolic forms, the form work on most concrete jobs you can use over and over and over because they're standard shapes. You see the standard shapes here?
No.
So we would build a form and throw a form away. I mean, had to. There was no other choice because you only had one and done time. Every piece. My truck or somebody else's truck? The yellow ball truck. The deliveries I know that's been made the last couple of days. Is there something else?
You're like kid in candy store, Doug. Isn't that beautiful?
Okay.
It really is.
It's been getting somewhere else.
This answers all the questions.
Okay.
This answers everything.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Richard. These guys here are the ones that really pull it off. Let me make this call real quick and answer your question.
I'm up in the tower crane right now, and the wind's probably blowing about 40 miles an hour, as you can tell by the way my hair is kind of going here, and we just happen to be right in the wind. Here's the view. Out there. Can't really see with it blurry like that, but it's about 280 feet.
I'm up on the or something. A lot of your shots are from looking straight down from the tower.
From the well, I saw that video. It's just those are. When you say tower, are you talking about the crane tower? Right? Okay. Yeah.
Tower crane, yeah. So this is just, let me read this. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was informed by Harvey Glenn, by the way, that I'd be the main presenter at a safety stand down to our whole job site. At that point, we had around 300 craft personnel and an additional 40 managers or so. I was one of the 4 project superintendents at the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art construction project in Bentonville, Arkansas. It was early spring 2008. I was around 26 years old and very much over my head with regard to my experience on a monster construction site and my job title / responsibilities. The presentation was to last a minimum of 30 minutes, and the topic was fall protection and prevention in construction. Fortunately, I had quite a bit of experience with fall protection, firsthand user as a carpenter and as a qualified inspector, and was able to put together a halfway decent speech / training session. My nerves were absolutely shot before I had to grab the megaphone and start talking / reading. Anyone who's not used to giving speeches to crowds of people can relate. What made all of the difference in the flow of the speech and the interaction with the group of people was my storytelling and first-person perspective, where I attempted to paint pictures and scenarios that everyone could relate to. It was a success, and I didn't die as a result of the public speaking. Prior to that, the largest group I'd spoken to was about 50 people in a church setting. Our senior superintendent, Harvey Blinn, actually gave me a several dollar an hour raise and sent me to get my OSHA 510 and OSHA 500. Additionally, I was informed by our project executive and project manager that I would be the project safety manager in addition to my current role as superintendent. To which I didn't write this in there, but to which I said, do I get a raise? And they said, no, you get to keep your job. I said, I've always considered Crystal Bridges my alma mater. The amount of experience I gained and the relationships built while working 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for about 3.5 years, January 8th, 2008 through August 11th, 2011, can never be taken away. If you have a chance, visit the museum. It's truly extraordinary and one of a kind. I'm very proud of our safety record. We successfully achieved 1.5 million man-hours with no lost time injuries and only a small handful, around 4 recordable injuries. I remember every single person I've had the fortune of instructing over the years. Each person truly matters, and I typically end each course with a short speech on following your dreams in life. I love what I do, whether it's writing a workbook or researching for an upcoming class or customer, instructing a course to a new or old group, performing business development activities, making phone calls, emails, etc., writing a blog, training one of our new trainers, whatever the case is. I love my work, and I love building, I love training, I love people. If you could go back and change that experience, what would be the one thing that you would do differently? Overused in many cases, but important and applicable nonetheless. Be the change you want to see in the world. So,
All you gotta do is lead by example.
All comes back to people, doesn't it, Doug? Everything comes back to people.
So now we're talking about heritage of architecture. Now we're talking about changing it from Moshe's vision. You know, you start looking at the Getty Center and the Almond Carter, and the Nasher, and the Skirball, and you know, now we're talking about architects trying to end this story and tell another story, which is the Frank Lloyd Wright.
Wow.
We're standing right here in the south lobby. Right there's the house. So you come out and you go up those steps. You take a left, you get to that arrow. There's the pavilion that was built by the University of Arkansas, way modern architecture. And you can see, right there it is. There's the pavilion on the left side up there. And there's the house. Wow. And so this is the south lobby of the museum. And so when they picked this spot, I was very happy. You know why? I didn't have to hire no utility companies at all. I fed it all from right here. Power, water, sewer.
Just tied right in.
Yeah, I tied in everything from right here, so I didn't have to bother and schedule or get 1-800-DIG, you know, nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
1-800-DIG, right.
Virgin ground to here, and this is what we're going to do. So our 4 pillars here at Crystal Bridges are this: art, nature, education, and architecture. That's what we built it on. And so architecture piece, we had the Moshe Softy, which was great, but we wanted to add to that. So we had the Buckminster Fuller, and we did the Fly's Eye Dome, as well as Buckyball that's up there at the top, which you saw coming in. You'll see it after dark. There's 16 million light combinations.
Wow.
And so then we thought, what better to have a Frank Lloyd Wright? So the opportunity came up from the Tarantinos, because they had it near Mill Creek, New Jersey, and it had flooded 3 times major, and they rebuilt it and rebuilt it. They knew they couldn't keep doing it because the river was changing. It was coming closer and closer. And so they were going, okay, we got to do something. Who could help us? And so it just so happened they made connection with people at Crystal Bridges. They said, we might be able to do something. What do you want to do? And they said, well, we want to dismantle it. We'll work on board. And so we did.
Wow. Yeah, I've always loved that guy's style, his total style of houses. Simplistic. I guess is that a word? Simplistic.
So have y'all been to Forest Lights at night yet?
Not yet.
How come?
You know,
I can't answer that
It's the
question.
first time this exhibit's been in the United States of America, and it's here in this little town of ours, and
I know.
you gotta go to it.
We're gonna go
How much
back.
longer is the exhibit, or is it permanent?
It needs out to 16th of February.
Yeah, I gotta
Only
get
time
down
left.
there.
Yep, I'm there.
If you haven't seen it, it is cool.
Yeah.
That's what we heard.
Hey, take care, buddy.
I feel like I just got back from Disneyland.
Minus the lines.
Minus the lines.
You know, I have been to Crystal Bridges on several occasions before. Springtime, during the winter, seasonal events, and of course the art on display is magnificent. Many masterpieces that I didn't really think I would get to see in life, I've seen. So it's a diamond in the rough, if you will, and a special little secret here in the Midwest. But this trip was different. What I learned on this trip is that Crystal Bridges itself, the building, is a masterful piece of art. Being able to tour and walk around with the engineers and see how the building was put together, it was as if I was watching Van Gogh with a blank canvas. Crystal Bridges is an amazing place, but more importantly, it's an experience. And if you've not been here, you need to treat yourself. It's not just art, it'll be a moment in your life.